My name is Jade Cooper. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. Prior to coming to Europe, I was doing part-time jobs here and there, nothing too stable or nothing that I could really build a career off of. I attended college for a year, but due to financial reasons, I couldn't stay. And I also had a son, so between being a mom and having to work, I had to put school second.
My name is Roberto Velez. I am 22 years old. I was born and raised in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. It's changing, but a majority of my neighborhood, it's basic public housing. A lot of gang territories, a lot of drug trafficking in and out of the neighborhood. I grew up in a low-income house, and actually my first experiences of life were in a foster care home. They were kind of abusing us, so at 3 years old, I got taken out of that foster home, got taken to my grandmother. She adopted us. I didn't have my parents telling me, you need to go to school and get an education so you can better yourself. I was told by the streets, you need to survive past today, and that's it. So I was only thinking about the temporary.
My name is Diane Lessard. I'm 25 years old. I'm from the Bronx in the High Bridge area, right by Yankee Stadium. I live with my 2 daughters right now, along with my parents, my sister, and my brother. It really is literally a full house. My mother, she helps with special education children, and my father, he works as a gas station attendant over in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Eventually, I just stopped going to school. I made money however I could. I was planting trees throughout the city, my neighborhood. I've worked at McDonald's, several McDonald's. I've just done so many odd jobs. I would help build fences, patios. I would clean up garbage, anything I could to get any type of money. I never really kept a job more than a year. I've had jobs that I've only been there for 3 days, and I quit. I would burn every bridge I had. I have no bridges from the past.
After high school, I went to Mercy College. I did that for about a year. Wasn't really sure what to do, so just out of the blue, I up and joined the Army. When I was 19, I got pregnant with my daughter. He and I were pretty young when we met, so when we got to the States, we realized that it wasn't really working out. I served active duty for about 2.5 years. Then after that, it was kind of a rough go for me because I wasn't able to land a job right away like I expected. I really just wanted to have the connections to be able to just land a really good career, not just a simple job with minimum wage.
I had this moment in my life where I said, look, I can lose everything. I almost lost my life due to gang violence, and one of my friends got stabbed about 7 times. Is that moment in your life where you see that I can lose it all, and what can I actually say I was happy about? What have I accomplished? What have I done that makes me stand out? And I said nothing to myself, and that hurt. I worked hard, but I finally got my high school diploma. And the same person who actually pushed me to finish and go get my high school diploma was actually the same one who introduced me to Europe. Something told me, you gotta do this. Not knowing how to use a computer my whole life was hard. I've never even sent an email before Europe. But I've always been good with numbers, so the IO track, it was for me. Right before I got into Europe, I actually had got a job at the airport, cleaning the interiors of planes, you know, the seats, the bathrooms, throw up. I've never been on a plane. I was working nights at the airport, then rushing to go to Europe. So then it came to that point where I had to make a decision. I mean, Europe, it was unlike anything I've ever been in. We learned about Wall Street, we learned about Fortune 500 companies, stocks, bonds, interest rates.
Prior to coming to Europe, I never knew anything about a stock or a bond. I didn't pick up a Wall Street Journal or a New York Times ever in life prior to coming to Europe. Coming from Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, they don't even sell Wall Street Journals or the New York Times in my local stands. It was an eye-opener to me because now I was able to read it and understand it as opposed to just seeing people reading it.
We're learning a lot about software applications, but we're actually going to get into the hardware, going into the computer, pulling it open and watching all the parts inside work.
We learned about negotiation skills, we learned pro skills, dinner etiquette. You know, I've never even thought I would be learning how to eat properly. I didn't even know that you could eat properly. I just thought eating was eating and that's it. But no, there's proper etiquette in everything you do.
How to give a good handshake. Europe teaches that. My favorite was how to hold a plate, a cup, and a napkin in one hand and still have a hand free to give a handshake. Email etiquette.
Communication, knowing how to write that email that just kind of stands out?
Coming from Bedford-Stuyvesant in Brooklyn, it's a tough neighborhood. So I definitely had a tough attitude. I didn't have a welcoming face. But coming to Europe, they showed me that it was okay to smile. It was okay to be friendly. It was okay to just open up and not have such a barrier.
Actually, right now, we're going into elevator speeches, giving a person like a 30-second summary of what you do. You know, handshake, hi, how are you? I'm from Europe. Oh, you've never heard of Europe? Well, would you like me to explain it to you?
When I started my apprenticeship, I was so excited. I couldn't wait because it was my opportunity to show what I've learned and actually apply it on the job. I couldn't wait, especially going to the depository trust and clearing corporations. I work in corporate actions. Corporate actions deals with any type of name changes, stock splits, reverse splits. You never know what's gonna happen. It's not a job where you go in and it's the same work every day. Every day you step into mandatory reorg, it's something new. What I like the most about my job is shocking people about what I know about investment operations. The fact that I know what a reverse stock split is.
With Merrill, I've never worked in an office environment. So Merrill did a lot for us. They trained us, they gave us mentors. I worked as hard as I could and got the job. So now I'm a full-time employee. I'm in settlement. I basically monitor intraday trades and manage fails. I speak to brokers, clients, traders. I actually walked through my company one day. You know, one of these ladies that I've always worked with, she told me, "You're such a fine young man, you look like you come from a polished family." And I told her, "No, I don't." And she told me, "Wow, I wouldn't be able to tell." So everything the year up taught, and you know, I soaked it in. Actually, in my third month of employment, I got service spotlight, and that's a big deal. It's basically overall employee of the month. And this was my third month. I've never been acknowledged for any type of work before. It's just a big, big, big thing for a person like me who's never been a part of anything.
I understand that in a lot of big companies, there are a lot of faces and it's really easy to get lost in them. And I just plan not to be one of those that get lost. I want to be able to use that confidence to just come to like my future manager, future supervisor, and let them know that I'm here to be here and to do the work here.
The key part of the program is that they offer us a support network. They introduced me to my mentor. His name is David Grossman, and he constantly supports me. He tells me what he thinks, and he doesn't hold back his opinions.
Networking, networking, networking. Like I live and I breathe networking. Before coming to Europe, you know, you meet people and you don't really think too much about it. You don't think that you're ever going to see them again. But I think that Europe instills that networking mentality into us. So we know that, yeah, you might just be meeting someone for a cup of coffee, but down the line, you may link up somewhere in business. Europe teaches you that you're the same as anyone else. You're just the same as a VP. You're just the same as a CEO or a CFO.
That really meek, shy, quiet girl, you know, that's not me anymore. I have the utmost confidence to just come up to you and say, "Hi, how are you?" Give you my elevator speech if you feel like listening to it, and just be myself and have confidence in myself, and knowing that I am someone worth listening to.
Walking through my neighborhood, back then I just used to feel like, okay, what kind of trouble can I get myself into today? And now it's just, people just open up to me, people smile at me, people stop me and tell me, you know, you look so well dressed, what is it that you do? And you know, it makes me feel good about myself, honestly, very good about myself. I love wearing suits all the time. I love when I go out and wear a suit, how people tell me, "What, are you going to a wedding?" And I'm like, "No, I'm going to work." And it is a big deal when people feel like you're dressing up for this big occasion and you're actually just going about your everyday business.
My oldest, she brought back a picture that she drew in school, and she drew a picture of me in a suit and a briefcase. She appreciates what I do, and she really looks up to me. And so me coming home, professional attire, professional attitude, she's gonna look at that and she'll know that that's what she needs to do.
I come from 5 brothers and sisters, and I was the first to attend college. So attending Europe, I feel like I definitely have to go back to school. And I actually look forward to going back to school because I'm looking to be a broker now. I want to be a stockbroker, despite the market. You know, I really want to set the bar for my brothers and sisters because maybe, you know, they'll see their little sister graduate from college and they'll want to go back as well.
I mean, I was speechless when I saw the magazine. I felt like somebody important. And, you know, the staff told me, a student came in and they said, "Where did you hear about Europe?" He's like, I read Success Magazine, and I want to be a lot like Roberto. And to me, that touched me. That means that everything I'm fighting for is actually coming true.